This is Andrew, and welcome to another Mindful Minute. Now, in this environment of Corona, stay at home, it's very unusual. Very few of us have spent extended periods on quarantine like we are now. And it is very normal with the changing world around us to become anxious. Fortunately, anxiety is just another state of mind. And it's something that we always experience that's frequently experienced in our life to a greater or to a lesser extent. And so if we can now use this period of seclusion to gain a deeper understanding of how anxiety manifests in our body, how it manifests in the types of thoughts that we have, by familiarizing ourselves with the patterns and the triggers of anxiety, we can use that self-awareness in the service of self-regulation, not only during this limited period, but for the rest of our life. Now, what I find helpful when I'm feeling anxious is to start by recognizing the feeling of anxiety and noting it as anxious. The next thing that I do, which can be very helpful, is try to return my attention into the body. Anxiety frequently manifests in our body in one form or another. It can be a form of something uncomfortable, feeling butterflies in our stomach. Anxiety is also closely related to excitement. So understanding and paying attention to anxiety, it could be thoughts of feelings of worthlessness, I'm no good, and you can see then a chain reaction of thinking starts to arise. And if we can start to see that these types of thoughts, which many people experience regularly throughout the day but ignore them, if we can start paying attention and notice worthlessness, shame, anxiety, and all the other negative feelings and emotions that get brought up, this can be a gateway into transforming how we live in the world for the rest of our life. So I encourage you to use this time not only to become aware of these negative emotions, which can be happening, but also to tune into our breath, which is a neutral sensation, which we can replace the anxiety with attention on the breath. And I've very rarely met anybody who loves their breath, who hates their breath, although some people do get a little worried about their breath if they think it's too shallow or too deep, or if they don't feel the next breath coming when they think it should. And all of these manifestations of anxiety in relation to the breath can be great exercises to understand anxiety and to help us bringing it down by reconnecting with the breath and letting go of the anxious thoughts, the anxious worries, and the impulses that come out of anxiety. So I hope you use this time to strengthen your mind, to be able to focus your mind on the breath, on the rising and falling of the abdomen, to label it as rising and to label it as falling. And if your attention is really focused on the rising and falling, then the anxiety can't even enter into your mind. But if the seal of your attention is not tight on the breath, then those little gaps in attention, anxiety can come in. And then we have to take the recovery of recognizing the anxiety, labeling the anxiety, maybe noticing any feeling, sensations, or associated thoughts, and then returning the attention to the rising and falling. The rising and falling is not an anxiety-producing object, and if we focus on it, it can help stem the tide of anxiety, turn the corner on anxiety, help us regain calm. So I hope this little tip helps you deal with anxiety that everybody's experiencing at this time. The sooner we can cut off the chain of thoughts and the seeing the worst case scenario and thinking about it, the better we are to be present, to see opportunities in the present moment and to take advantage of those, rather being lost in defeated mindset, giving up hope, and feeling even more anxious. So my name's Andrew Sheffer. I hope this little tip helps you, and I look forward to connecting further.